Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is Ship Updates. Now let's just get started. Now of course we saw the interiors of the Reclaimer, which appeared to be somewhat in a damaged state yesterday on ATV, and this is highly reminiscent of the interiors of the Nostromo towards the end of Alien. So it was really cool to see that kind of that throwback or that tip of the hat to that original movie. Now of course the Nostromo and the Reclaimer are two completely different looking ships, but on the interior they have a lot of similarities, but the atmosphere just seems so right, and in a way I really like this. This is something that when I saw it I just went, oh my god, now I gotta go sit down and watch Alien again, which I of course did. And yeah, I loved it. I loved seeing the damaged state of the interior. It was amazing. Now, of course, it looks like the Reclaimer is a lock for 3-1 unless something unanticipated happens. And salvage, of course, being the other half of the Reclaimer being its job. And the universe is still slated for 3.2. So we would be getting the ship, but not its job, really, in this state of, or at this point in the game. But still, I mean, I really can't wait to kind of go around and explore within the ship. I mean, it looks like it's going to be amazing. Now, of course, in that clip, we also got some more bridge shots, more specifically of the cockpit. I mean, we get this great shot here of, you know, floor to ceiling windows of this great unobstructed view. It looks fantastic. It's a lot like the Prospector or the Reliant. It's this beautiful unobstructed view that lets you see down below you, it lets you see up above you, it lets you see all around, so it's a lot more like you're actually going to be flying a spaceship and a lot less like flying
goddamn computer console.
Or at least making it feel that in order to fly many of the ships in the game, you don't require a booster seat. Jokes aside, of course, thanks to user Cheapopo1, we now have shots of the Reclaimer in the Evocati test build, now making the rounds out there on the interwebs. Thank you very much, sir. So you can check out the ship and what it looks like in 3.1, hopefully by the end of the month, though we do not have an exact date yet. Now, of course, the Reclaimer arriving before its intended role. Not the greatest, but still, you know what, having the ship, being able to get used to the ship, if the guns, if the turrets are functioning, it could make for some interesting and fun times while we wait for salvage and other things to be fleshed out to really kind of bring the Reclaimer fully to life. But to get out there and to play around with it after so long a wait, remember this thing was originally concept sold back in September or August of 2014, so people have been waiting quite a while for this ship. Not Banu Merchantman long, but pretty long. Now, ships like the Caterpillar here, we've had this for what, I think almost exactly a year now that we've had a flyable Caterpillar in game. You know, it's in a bit of a troubled state. There are things that need to be finished, and there are things that, especially in the current build, are broken. Hopefully they'll get some fixes in time for 3.1. But, you know, it's still great to have it. If I could choose now, having had the opportunity to fly around with it, explore it, use it for making credits, would I go back and just say, no, stick it on the shelf and wait till everything's done? No, I'm more happy having played it, having flown around in it. Yeah, you know, it's a troubled ship. It has some problems. There are some systems that are completely missing and not implemented yet. And there are some things like the doors that are just completely broken, but I'm still happy to have it. I'm still happy to, you know, make a little bit of, I was about to say ISK, make some credits with it and have some fun. It has been enjoyable. I'd rather have it than not have it. So I kind of feel the same way about the Reclaimer. It's going to be kind of disappointing to not be able to play around with the giant claw on the Reclaimer, but hopefully at some point in the near future, once we get salvage, that will come into play too. I mean, who knows? We may get a functional claw, just no salvage. I guess we'll have to wait and see, though. That would probably be a good developer question for calling all devs. Hint, hint. But you know what? It's not all about the Reclaimer, because of course we know that we're getting the Anvil Terrapin, the Misk Razor, and the Tumbril Cyclone in the next patch. Those are ships that are slated to appear in 3.1. But, surprise, another ship has just squeezed into that list. The NOX KUE, which is the alternate version of the basic level NOX, has been added to 3.1 with 1 of 4 tasks completed. So the variant of the baseline NOX that you may have purchased, or those of you who purchased this, which was the special edition version of the NOX, will be happy to know that your space bike is now included in 3.1 as well, as of, I believe, today. Now, of course, one of the things that is not going to be in 3.1 is, of course, the bind culling, which is something that CIG hopes is going to deliver a major performance boost for end users, something that a lot of people have been screaming for, because the game is beautiful, but it is something of a resource hog right now. And so a lot of people were hoping for the bind culling, something to help the efficiency of the game. And ATV, to its credit yesterday, which was like almost an hour-long episode, went into a lot of these performance issues, and they discussed a lot of these problems. Now, it was, I would say, kind of a dry episode for that, because it was kind of really deep technical stuff, so it wasn't really a lot of the flash and excitement that you would normally expect, seeing new ships, seeing new gameplay mechanics, things like that. They really went into the nitty-gritty of where a lot of our performance issues and a lot of our bottlenecks are occurring in the game's performance. So that has been pushed back tentatively. I believe the target now is 3.3. So around the time that the Hammerhead gets released, September-ish, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But if I understood it correctly, there are still some interim fixes that they are planning to implement with 3.1. So hopefully, along with the big ship, we will see some modest, fingers crossed, performance gains, which I'm sure everyone would agree would definitely improve the experience of this stage of the alpha for everyone. But once again, we'll have to wait and see on a lot of those things. We still don't have a date yet, though this is the target month for that release, so the clock is ticking, and hopefully we're almost there. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.